Welcome to Gate City Insider. I'm Rosemary Plybon. 25 years ago, Community Theater Greensboro staged its first performance of The Wizard of Oz. It was a hit, and it still is. That was a little taste of last year's Wizard of Oz Community Theaters. With this today, we have Roz Fulton, who's the Executive Director of Community Theater Greensboro, and Mitchell Summers, the Director of all 25 years of the Wizard of Oz. Hey, how are you?
We're doing well.
I am
Thank you for having us.
Glad you are here.
Yes.
So, Mitchell, let me start with you. How did you decide Wizard for the first time? Why was that a show you wanted to do here in Greensboro?
Well, I liked the show because I just had memories as a child growing up in the Bronx, and that was like we all did. We sat around the TV holiday time and would watch it, so I loved the movie. But actually, the first time we did it, it was just part of the season. We had done a few musicals, Annie, Peter Pan, and we noticed there was an interest in these family shows, so we said, let's do The Wizard of Oz. And then it was like, let's do it again. And we had been searching for something because, we knew there was the Nutcracker and there was Christmas Carol out in High Point. And so there was something out there for us, and it just clicked and it worked.
And Roz, you haven't been around that long, but you've been around a long time with community theater. Why do you think it continues to resonate with people and is still such a hit?
It's such a family-oriented show, and I think when so many of the cast members get together and the parents, when they are sitting around at rehearsals, they become family. So then it becomes once a year, this kind of family reunion. Let's all get together and have a good time and experience. So I just think over the years, people have put that into like their family tradition and just become one of those things they have to do.
Of course, there's special things about every year. Every cast is different. Every year there's something just a little bit different about this show, and that makes it wonderful too.
Yeah, and it's Roz always teases me, and keeps me going. Shake it up a little bit, shake it up. But basically the structure is there, and you're right. It's different because there's 100 people in it who have a different personality. Some have done it before, some have never done it before, and that just creates a whole. And that's what I love about theater.
What can we expect this year in the show?
We have some new set elements that we're adding, and you may see a few surprises where something may fly that you don't expect it to fly.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
Okay. I don't even know about that. Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see and a lot of fun. So if you have seen the show numerous times, this is definitely a time to come back and see it.
It's so much fun. Talk a little bit about some of the other things that community theater is doing in Greensboro.
So around Wizard of Oz, we back in September, we actually had a Wizard of Oz trail out at Castle McCulloch. So it was part of one of those, getting people started and getting into the holiday season. So we also had we'll be having a parade in the 1st of November, and just other events around the community that we want people to see. We are here to stay, and come and be a part and enjoy with us.
And of course, there's lunch with Dorothy.
Lunch
you
with
can
Dorothy.
Meet the cast and the characters, and you're actually playing a role in this year's Wizard of Oz, correct?
I am, and my mom, who's 91 years old, who I recently brought to live in Greensboro, she's all pumped.
I bet.
I reminded her today. She doesn't remember what she had for breakfast. She said, "I'm going to see you in that show, right?" I said, "Yes, Ma, you're going to see me in that show."
This is your reprising your role as the wizard?
Yes. The first time I did it was because, bless his heart, the guy could never learn the lines.
Oh, no.
So I had to jump in and do it. But I was thrilled that the board and Roz supported me for this special year to do it.
How many years have you done Wizard? Or how many years have you been the Wizard, I guess I should say?
I'm going to say maybe I've done it like four times.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite thing about the show? Do you have a favorite scene or song or something that just kind of brings it home for you?
It really is Munchkin land. It's just seeing all those children out there and knowing what a life-changing experience it is for them. And like Raza talked about earlier about relationships, moms who now their babies are in it, and brother and father, or people in the audience who saw it years ago. And that, when I see all those kids up there know what this means to them and their families, that probably is the most thrilling for me.
And it is a beautiful show. I mean, there's so much color and life on the stage, and so many people on the stage. And
Yes.
there are a lot of cast members.
Yeah, with a cast of almost 100, it's definitely a show that will keep you entertained. There's always something going on that stage, and it's always good to hear, when families come out during intermission and they say, I brought my 3-year-old, and they're sitting there, glued to the stage, and it's just one of those magical moments.
And what I want to say to your viewers too, it still blows my mind. Some people will say, "Oh, really? I never heard of the Wizard of Oz." I'm like, "Really?" So wherever you're watching this, unless the shows are over, get a ticket and experience it. I mean, it's such a fun, wonderful thing to do. The tickets are affordable. It's crazy if you live in Greensboro and you have a family that you don't come see this.
And it's at the beautiful Carolina Theater,
is.
which was
Gorgeous.
newly renovated,
Yes,
and
yeah.
the seats are wonderful.
So
the
special.
sound.
And that's part of our mission as we go into this season, is allowing everyone to have that opportunity to experience community theater. But we want to make sure that we are in the community every place that we can be, so that people do know about us and know that they can get involved with us.
Yeah, I mean, theater, we know that Greensboro is a really theater-loving community, and from every level. And we have wonderful theater at every level here, which is so fun to see.
And always have to remember, every Broadway star that we see, they started in their community
And
theater.
we have a few from
Yes,
right here,
we
Greensboro
do.
Community
And
Theater.
more to come.
Well, we love to hear that. It's very exciting. So, Roz, tell us a little bit about some of the other shows and some other things coming up after Wizard is done. It doesn't mean community theater is done.
No, it's not. There is life after Wizard, like we always say. We have a full youth season. We'll be doing a Sousified Christmas Carol in December with part of our youth season. Also in the spring, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Jr. And Footloose, the school edition. So we do have other things available for kids in that life after Wizard. But also in our main stage season, we'll be presenting Still Magnolias and A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder and Matilda and also Shrek. So definitely something for everyone to see.
And Shrek back at the Carolina
Shrek
Theater.
is back at the Carolina Theater.
Wow.
We're very excited about
Another
that.
big show, I imagine,
Yes.
with a big cast
Yes.
and all ages there
Yes.
too, which is a whole lot of fun. And summer camps, I know those will be coming
Lots
up
of
for-
summer
before
camps.
long.
Again, we have something for everyone. If your child is 3 and older, we can get them started in community theater. And like we say, we like to train the next Broadway star.
Wow, that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Yes, and I have 3. I have a little plug, because I have 3 little future Broadway stars maybe in the show this year who are very excited to be part of it and love to be part of the family. So thank you for all you do.
Thank
We
you.
can't wait to see this show. Okay, so when can you see it? Well, you can see it this month. It is at the Carolina Theater. It is Wizard of Oz live on stage beginning November 16th. Check it out. There you go. There are the dates and the times. The easiest thing to do is go online. You can find it all at ctgso.org. It'll give you a link to the Carolina Theater, and you can buy your tickets there. Okay, so when we come back, we're actually going to talk with 2 actors who have been a part of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz for a long time and are once again on stage for this 25th anniversary production. Stay with us.
Ding all the witches and witch, oh witch, the wicked witch. Ding all the wicked witches.
Welcome back to Gate City Insider. We are going over the rainbow for a trip down the yellow brick road. The Wizard of Oz is on stage at the Carolina Theater for the 25th time this month. And we have Wesley Cameron and Mike Scolio, two of the actors performing for the anniversary show. Hey, so glad to have you both here.
Good to be here.
And now this is not your first time in the show. When were you first in the show, Mike?
I started the very first Wizard, which was like 25 years ago.
25 years ago. And what was your role?
My role was a munchkin and a flying monkey.
And a flying monkey? Did you
Yes.
fly that year?
I didn't fly, but just I came in through the stage, running through the stage.
What are your memories about that first show?
I remember the first one, Mary Thacker, who was the original Wicked Witch back then. When Jitterbug got ready to do the Jitterbug chorus and all together, backstage, me and Mary Thacker danced backstage.
Oh, there's a lot of dancing that still happens backstage, that's for sure. What about your first show?
My first year, I think, was the third year
Okay.
of doing it. So, what, 96, 97 or something like that?
And what was your role?
Munchkin and a monkey. I was actually, my first year, I was a Lollipop Guild.
Okay. Yes, and we're going to show some pictures of you two in just a few minutes so everybody can say, "Oh," because then you continued. Both of you got the bug.
Yeah.
You've done it how many years now, Wes?
I think it's about 22, something like that.
And how many for you, Mike?
Mine is my ninth.
Okay, so what keeps you coming back? Oh, look, there you are. There you are as a Lollipop Guild. And then some other munchkin, it looks like there. So, Wesley, why keep coming back? Why 22 times?
I mean, really, it's just fun. It's I mean, a Greensboro tradition. It's like, it's fun. It's, in a way, it's kind of just like coming home after a long vacation where it's just, something and it's just a good place to be.
Yeah, I get that. Mike, what about you?
When I came back, some people asking me, when are you coming back? And I came back in 4 years ago, and my last one was 2001.
And so what made you want to come back? Why do you want to keep doing
Because
this?
I kind of miss it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous on stage? Or before you go on stage, I should say?
When I first started, yes, I was, but now I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, what about you? Not at all?
No.
No?
Not anymore.
And so this year you're both Winky. So tell us your roles this year. I know Winky.
Winky, Jitterbug Dancer, Ozian, Tree. Pretty much all the male ensemble roles.
Okay. And Mike?
Same thing. I was on Tree last year, and I was Winky's, Munchkin, and lead Winky last year. And now I'm doing a lead Winky again with Wes this year.
That's awesome. What does that mean?
This year we're actually sharing the part.
Cool.
So each of us have a little bit to say in the last scene when Dorothy melts the witch.
Right around the ding dong,
Yeah.
the witch is dead part. Yes, we like that part of the show. It's a scene stealing part of the show, that's for sure. So what do you love about it? I know you said it feels like coming home. Is it the people? Is it the acting? Is it the story? What do you think you like best about it?
The story is, I like it to see all the people in the audience.
Yeah.
And I think about what's the Wizard of Oz all about. It's like watching them. If you're watching on stage, it's like watching a movie.
Yeah. What up for you?
I mean, I just. Sorry, I forgot what you said.
Just why do you love it? Why is it different than another show?
I don't know. It's just, again, tradition. It's fun, making people happy because it is a fun, family-friendly show. It's just fun.
It is fun. You're right. So after the show, I know you get to come out and you get to meet the fans. You get to meet the people who've been watching the show. What is that like when you're in costume? And
It feels like coming back home with the original family.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or do people? Is it fun getting your picture taken with those
Oh, I love it.
little kids?
Oh yes.
That has to be one of the best parts about it.
Getting to interact with the audience after the show is a big part of it, because you actually get to see, people tell you how much they enjoyed it, and it's just nice to be able to see the smiles that you're putting on people's faces.
Yeah, really. And that is, and they last a long time, that feeling does. Thank you both for sharing a little bit of your
Thank
Wizard of
you.
Oz experience. We can't wait to see you on stage, and you can see them on stage too. The CTG's production of The Wizard of Oz is coming up later this month at the Carolina Theater. It starts November 16th. It runs for 2 weekends. Lots of tickets, lots of wonderful chances, lots of price ranges. So there is a seat for anyone who would like to see the show. Once again, it is the 25th anniversary. You certainly don't want to miss it. Go to carolinatheater.com or ctgso.org to find out more about it. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit more magical fun. We're going to talk to 2 more actors who have traveled along the Yellow Brick Road quite a few times themselves. Stay with us. Welcome back to Gate City Insider. Today we are exploring The Wizard of Oz as Community Theater Greensboro presents the musical for the 25th time at the Carolina Theater. And Brian Ford and Trinity Evans have appeared on stage several times in the annual production, and this year they're working behind the scenes. So
That's right.
I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for
All
having
right,
us.
I want to hear about your experiences. When were you first in the show, Trinity?
So the first time I was in the show, I was in 2010, and I was about 7 or 8, and I was a Munchkin and a Crow, and then I did it again in 2017 as Dorothy.
Wow. So what made you, come back to it? Like what impressed upon you on that first time that you did the show that made you say, this is something I want to do later?
Right. So when I was a Munchkin, I think all the Munchkins look up to all the Dorothys, and then they're always like, oh my God, I want to be Dorothy. And I think that was my mindset. And my mom was like, I told my mom, I was like, I want to be Dorothy. And so like, she was like, okay, well just wait till you get to a certain age and then we'll try out and see what happens. And so that's what kept me going.
And there you are as a Munchkin. And then, of course, you were Dorothy, too. And so what was it like when you finally were Dorothy?
It was so, like, I don't know, because I watched the movie a lot when I was younger. And so, like, actually getting to be Dorothy was just, like, almost like a dream come true, I could say. Because especially at the end, when you go out to the audience at the end of the show and all the kids run up to you. And I remember me being one of those little kids running up to the Dorothy, which was really nice.
And some of them are dressed like Dorothy or have their shoes. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. Here's some more photos. They're just great. And just look, you can just see how much fun you're having with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Brian, when was your first experience with Wizard?
My first Wizard show was in 2013, and I played the Tin Man. And I had no idea that I would ever come back and do it again, but like you heard Mike say earlier, I missed it. And so I came back in 2015 and had the honor of playing the Scarecrow. And then everyone started rooting for me to play all 3, and so I had to come back and try to complete the trifecta. So I did, and I played the Lion last year.
I mean, yeah, there should be some sort of award for that, right? I mean,
That would be
you've done all
nice,
3.
yeah.
I don't know, a special costume that you should, or a T-shirt maybe. At least a T-shirt.
That's
I feel like
right.
you should get. What has it meant to you? I mean, not just to play those roles, but to be a part of this show.
It's a family. I think that's why I came back every time. I've done a lot of shows at a lot of different theater companies in the area who are all great, but CTG feels like home. The Wizard of Oz feels like home.
And so both of you are now working behind the scenes to make this a successful production. Tell us a little bit about your roles. Trinity?
So my mom did the costumes when I was Dorothy, so she got pulled into that. But we've stuck with it ever since then. It's fun backstage. You create relationships, even cast members backstage. You get to see like all the magic that happens with the set transitions.
Costume changes, makeup.
Yeah. It was really fun when Brian was Lion last year. I was doing his makeup. I was helping the Tin Man, and I was helping the Scarecrow, and all that's so much fun.
Yeah, and what about you, Brian?
Yeah, well, Mitchell wouldn't cast me as Dorothy this year, so I decided that I would work backstage. No, I joined the CTG family full-time this year as the Director of Development. And so I'm excited to be in that role, to be behind the scenes, to get to interact with the audience when I normally wouldn't. So I'll be out in the lobby, mixing and mingling, and having a good time on the backside.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And you know, we haven't really talked about, we've talked about what happens on stage, but backstage, there's a lot going on. There are almost as many people working backstage to put it on as there are who actually see on stage.
It's a machine back there. Yeah.
And everything from helping people change clothes to the curtains to the props.
The things flying through the air, that's
yeah,
all. Yeah.
Just moving children. And I know you've gotten to fly, and that's kind of something that's pretty special about this show.
Yeah, flying, I was a little terrified at the beginning because me being lifted off the ground, but no, it was so much fun. And it's also really, as a kid, I wanted to fly, but I was too scared to do it. But it's so much fun to fly, watch everyone fly, see the different people that go flying, yeah.
Have you had a chance to watch the show? I mean, I know you've both been in it. Have you both been in the audience also?
I have.
Yes.
What's that? How's that for you?
I've seen so many Dorothys. I saw B. Howell one time. I saw Kiera Arrington, Grace Rodriguez, and it's just like knowing how it is backstage and then knowing how it is on stage. It's just like a whole nother. You're literally watching the movie, which is really nice.
What about for you?
To be honest with you, it's so hard not to run up there and do it. And it's not because they aren't doing a great job. It's just because it's so much fun. It's so much fun to be up there and to get to meet the audience afterwards and to have people come up to you outside of the theater and say, "Weren't you in The Wizard of Oz? And
So
you look
does that
so familiar."
happen?
Oh, absolutely, all the
Yeah?
time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I saw you on GTN.
You're right.
That's what they're
Greensboro
gonna say.
famous.
Yes.
That's right.
We can't wait for people to say that about you. And so, behind the scenes now, has there been something that has been memorable for you or a favorite part?
My favorite part is probably after the Twister, there's a big rush where the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion have to go change into
After the second Twister,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah. And they have to go change, and it's just the rush of, okay, get your makeup done, get your costume, you're done. Get your makeup, get your costume, you're done. And then it's like relaxing after that. But I think that is my favorite part. It's just because of high energy, and I get to see the transition.
I've just loved watching it come together from this side, right? To not be the one up there memorizing the lines or the choreography or the blocking, but to get to see this cast create their story and present it to the audience. To watch that come together has been priceless.
Do you see it? Is it a little different every year? I mean, do you see people bring their own touches to the roles?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen people now who've played the roles that I played, and I think, gosh, I wish I had thought of that, or I wish I had done that. And so I love seeing what people bring to the characters, and just like I did.
And so I have to ask, are the Dorothy tears, are those real tears at the end?
Oh, definitely.
I bet they are.
Especially the very last show. I think it's just when you're like, you work on a show for so long, and then the last show is like really special to you because you can't do it again until next year, and who knows what you'll be you know what I mean? So I definitely, for the last show, at least for me, they were real tears.
I think probably all Dorothys would say that.
And not even the Dorothys. I would argue that all of our tears are
yeah.
real, and especially because there are two Dorothys. Whenever they are performing their last show, it really is at the end like we're saying goodbye. And this particular group of people will never be on this stage together again. So it's heartwarming, it's touching, and the tears are definitely real.
I know it takes a huge community. I mean, not only the volunteers, everybody is a volunteer, by the way, everybody on stage, everybody working, all these volunteers to make it happen, but also there's a lot of community support that makes community theater possible. And I know that's what you're directly involved with right now.
That's my job, yeah. Yeah, huge thank you to all of our sponsors for all of our shows, not just The Wizard of Oz, but for anyone out there who's ever thought, I want to support the local community theater. And you said it earlier, our community is so invested in the arts, and we are so thankful for for that. So to all of our sponsors out there who've ever been involved with us, thank you. If you're out there and you want to be involved with us, please give me a call. Let me know. We'd love to have you.
Well, we'll get everybody in touch. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your experience with us, and thank you for your work on this year's production. We can't wait to see it, and we hope that you will want to see it too. It is the 25th anniversary of Community Theater Greensboro's The Wizard of Oz. You can see it on stage this month, starting November 16th through the end of the month at the beautiful Carolina Theater. You can get tickets online, carolinatheater.com. You can also go to ctgso.org to find out about everything going on with community theater, from other shows that are upcoming to auditions to workshops to special performances and camps. You can donate. You can be part of their yellow brick wall, I guess I should say, that's going to have some pretty special bricks on it. Find out all about that online. Well, that is it for this edition of Gate City Insider. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.